It's one of the best tournaments of the season, the Archbishop Mitty Invitational, and it was the host team on Saturday afternoon taking on Santa Barbara, a team that shocked Palo Alto the day before. Mitty in the court to the right early on, no surprises, relying on the power of 6-foot senior Alex Caldwell, who was coming through on both ends of the floor for the Monarchs. Mitty, of course, likes to spread the wealth, and they were also getting Claire Powers involved in the offense, a 6'2 sophomore delivering some power there. Katie Conroy also stepping up big for Archbishop Mitty. Not one and not two either for Conroy, this 5'11 senior. She also isn't afraid to lay up, and the dink over the block here gets Archbishop Mitty the point. The Monarchs also have an outstanding freshman in Alexa Dreyer, who stands 6'4", and after they get in their offense here, look how quickly they get up to Dreyer in the front. She comes through on the attack. Mitty wins the opening set. They coast 25-11. In the second set, it's more of Alex Caldwell. The dink here gets the Monarchs a point. Caldwell not afraid to do the assisting either. Here she'll set up Powers, who drops the hammer for another Monarch point. Now, the Dons not only knocked off Palo Alto, they also took presentation of 5 in the semifinals, and they did have some highlights of their own. Did the Dons, even though Mitty controlled most of the match. Look, stepping up here is the setter with the dink, Emma Marcari, the 5'7 junior for Santa Barbara. Leading the way in attacks for the Dons was Danny Rotman, as the 5'9 senior delivers some power through the block. But it was all Archbishop Mitty in that second set. Alex Caldwell coming through. Mitty takes that second set 25-17. In the third, it was more Caldwell for the Monarchs. Look at the block set up by the Monarchs. And then look at the relentlessness up front by Alexa Dreyer, who drops it in the back for another Archbishop Mitty point. Later on for the Monarchs, Allie Wheeler will get blocked once, but she won't get blocked a second time as she powers it through for another Mitty point. Later on, Wheeler, the great diving dig, and Powers sets it home for the Monarchs. Stepping up later, Archbishop Mitty on the block. Santa Barbara cannot find an open space in the Mitty floor, and Caldwell powers one home. Ultimately, Mitty serving for the match here as Danny Bozzini sends it over, and the attack by Santa Barbara is too long, and Archbishop Mitty wins in 3, 25-11, 25-17, 25-21. The Monarchs take third place, and that means the West Catholic Athletic League takes the top 3 places in the tournament, because in the championship it was an all WCAL final. Look at the teams exchanging pleasantries. Presentation, St. Francis and Emily Sklar and Taylor Deaton have a little fun with one another. It's a friendly rivalry. This was the second time these teams have met this season. They also met in the championship of another very competitive tournament, Spike Fest, earlier this year. Now in the 16-team Mitty Invitational, after both squads went 3-0 in their respective sides to get to this championship match, it was no surprise they were delivering one lawn volley after another in the opening set. And in the opening set, it was St. Francis who was on the attack and delivering the early points, as Veronica Komisarek able to come through as the 5'8 senior. But Emily Sklar, the outstanding player for presentation, denied there. Later on, through the touch, Chloe Lott can't find a home, so Sklar is able to pound it home for a presentation point. St. Francis has a number of players they can go to up front, including Taylor Deaton, who drops the hammer through the block for a St. Francis point. Taylor Formico is also an outstanding setter for the St. Francis team. In fact, she was a setter last year on their state championship team, and she is always alert at the net, able to drop it through the block. No surprise, Christine Alton, after outstanding freshman season, is on her way to having a fantastic sophomore campaign, and she was able to power it home as the block went on the other side all the way towards the St. Francis coach, Leahi Hall. St. Francis was in control most of that first set, but presentation started battling back. Look at that block by Alex Charity to get presentation some momentum. Then Sklar comes through, and presentation really started to rally well. And it wasn't that St. Francis was playing poorly, it's that presentation was just everywhere. Look at the diving dig there made by Madison Cooper to keep the ball alive and keep the lawn volley alive. Christine Alton then would be handled in the back row by Kathleen Boatso, and as Emily Sklar finishing off the Lancers in that opening set, 25 23. A come from behind win in that opening set, and Presentation had the early 1-0 advantage. In the second set, Chloe Angley able to take advantage of the St. Francis mistake at the net. It was like a boxing match, though. The two sides were delivering blows to one another as they were trading jabs, and this time it was Christine Alfton coming through with the latest blow to give St. Francis the point. Veronica Byther, so clutch, able to deliver a nice attack here to give Presentation the advantage and the side out. Later on, it was Emily Sklar being blocked, but that block would go out of bounds as Presentation started to take control. Sklar again off the touch and out of bounds for another Panther point. And it wasn't that St. Francis was playing poorly those first couple sets. It was just that Presentation refused to let the ball hit the floor. An example was coming up here by Emily Sklar. Great dig to help keep the lawn volley alive. And then the Panthers go right back to the well. That is Sklar, one of her 27 kills on the night. Yes, 27 kills in the championship for Emily Sklar. Later on in that second set, another lawn volley going back and forth between these two outstanding teams. And Presentation showing more of the great defense. Great diving dig here by Jennifer Wu. That allows the Panthers to set up Sklar from the back row, and she would finish off the Lancers in that second set, 26-24. Presentation takes the second set. When we go to the third, it was more Panthers. Veronica Byther had only 6 kills in the night. It seemed like more because she was so instrumental in that Presentation attack, and she would come through with that kill there. Later on, another volley. St. Francis not going quietly. Taylor Deaton with a nice attack, and we would be tied at 5 early in that third set. But a timeout by Panthers head coach Sue Dvorak, and it was a great service run by Alex Sherity right after that timeout. She delivers the ace. In fact, Presentation would score 11 points in a row. How many teams can score 11 in a row against a program like St. Francis? There on the attack, it was left-hander Madison Cooper delivering one down the line. Then Byther later says, I'll try that near side as well, and she comes through on the attack. It was an impressive display by Presentation in that third set. Here they would go to Alex Sherity, and Sherity would deliver yet another point. Later on, it would be match point for Presentation in that third set. Looking for the sweep, they'd go to Sherity, and Sherity thought she had a winner there, but a great diving pancake save made. Presentation nearly celebrated too early, but they go back to Sherity again, and Sherity comes through, and now it's over. Presentation wins the third set, 25-16. Congratulations to the Panthers, the Archbishop Mitty Invitational champions.